Hey guys, Rilo here, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the newly completed Britannic and Germanic. The Britannic class, built in 1874 and 1875. And yeah, let's get right into it. So this took just under 2 weeks to build. About 10 or 11 days I think. And yeah, they are of course very similar to the Oceanic class. Except most notably they have 2 funnels and yeah, they're much larger basically. And yeah, an improvement on their design, let's just say that. So let's start with the top decks here. Let's see, we have the bridge here, same as the Oceanic class. Behind is the bridge wheelhouse here, and then we have the little short room or short house, whatever. Short room, okay. We have the ladies' boudoir or the ladies' room in here, and then after that is the main entrance for Saloon class. So this entire deck here was for Saloon class, promenading space. So you have the grand staircase in here. It's very much an improvement over the Oceanic class. You have an actual skylight leading down, and you have 2 staircases here, which no doubt was a result of Atlantic sinking. It created kind of a bottleneck in all of the staircases, so I'm guessing they wanted to solve that a bit here. Although there's just 1 staircase leading down to the cabin, so I don't know. Who knows? Either way, it looks really cool. Moving aft here, or forward rather, is the smoke room. And it's similar to Oceanic class, except that the sofas are described as being black instead of green. Here I have the purser's office, and on the other side we have a door leading aft to the galleys, as well as some lavatories. We can actually go forward again. Yeah, we have the chief steward, and then the purser on the other side. So he had his cabin here, and then he had his office here. Very nice, very convenient. I didn't finish on this deck though. So we have the 2 funnels here and the large deck house. There is a skylight here in the middle leading down into the galleys. There's also the captain's cabin here. I pondered where to exactly place this, because on the Oceanic class, on the later ones in that class, the captain had his cabin in the superstructure. So I thought that let's put it back here, because this room is not really accounted for. We don't really know what was inside here, so I figured let's have the captain in here. Captain. On the other side we have the entrance for engineers leading down to their engine room, while on this side we have deck chairs. So yeah, I tried to utilize that space the best. Please do remember that the Britannic class has very little in terms of deck plans. They don't have a proper profile plan, unlike the Oceanic class. And they don't have we don't know most of the crew areas, for example, so do keep that in mind. A lot of it is made up, but it's also based on the Oceanic class, the Arabic class. So yeah, it's an educated guess, let's just say that. Okay, let's go back here into the staircase and let's head aft. We get to the galley, or this is galley. This is for the 3rd class galley, I think. Yeah, the Steerage galley. And here is the main galley for Saloon class, with the skylight. And then here is the crew galley. Then here we get to the victualing department, where the cooks, the chefs, all of those slept, the bakers, etc. And yeah, heading through these 2 doors we get to the casing for the engineers, or the engines. The engineers' quarters were here. I forgot to fix the signs, but I'm gonna do that later. We have there were 6 engineers I think in total, so 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th engineers. Then we have the mess hall in here, where they ate. And now we have the junior engineers here, and sleeping in kind of like an open dormitory style berthing space. Then we have some bathrooms here as well, and a toilet. And yeah, they would descend down, they could go up on deck if they wanted to. They could go all the way down into the engine room. Quite convenient. For the aft here are some entrances for steerage leading down. There's also a hospital here. On either side, it's mirrored basically. Here's another entrance deck house for steerage, so you would have this door here with some large lavatories, and then an entrance here for the steerage leading down. Let's go up again. Here is the aft turtleback. I forgot to do the front. We'll get to that in a bit. Turtleback. I struggle to say that word, but yeah, this is because both the bow and the stern would kind of get submerged in like tough weather, so they would put this cover over to keep it from being flooded. Was the idea. So here's the aft wheelhouse. You could control the steering gear like directly from this wheelhouse here. Here is a feature that was unique to Britannic, and Germanic never received this, and I don't think any other West Starliner ever did ever again. So this was a feature. This is like a capstan thing. You would manually rotate this. You would have like 4 crewmen doing that. This connected down into the propeller. So the idea was that you would be in rough weather, very like tons of waves, and the propeller would come out of the water a lot from the ship, like pitching up and down. So the idea was, if you lower the propeller down, there's a higher chance that it's always going to be underwater, and then it would increase top speed because it would never go above the water. That was the idea anyway, and that wasn't successful. It would leak a lot, and yeah, there was also the reason they wanted to be able to go into like pretty shallow, for example the Mersey River in Liverpool, so they could raise this up so this wouldn't like strike the bottom. But yeah, it didn't work that well. The speed was actually lower, it turned out, and yeah, it leaked like into the cargo holds, and it was tons of vibrations. So yeah, they removed this later. Too bad, because it's a cool feature, but what can you do? It's like a contraption here that would be lifted up, could be cranked up basically through this here. And on Germanic, if it's just a standard propeller like this, just directly connected to the engine room here, couldn't be hoisted up, so they actually removed this entire mechanism here. There's none anymore. Okay, let's go back to the bow again here, or let's actually go back to the bow. We have another turtle back to keep this from being flooded during heavy seas. Underneath here is a ton of crew areas, and also under steerage entrance here. This is mainly for the men, of course. The women was kept in the stern, separated. There are some wash places and lavatories for steerage. We have a lamp room in here. And on the other side we have the ice house and the crew's bathroom, wash place and WC. Sorry, voice crack. We have the butcher store, butcher shop. This is all based on Arabic and Oceanic. We don't exactly know how the crew areas were laid out on Britannic and Germanic, so it's an educated guess. Here is a crew entrance leading down. You would have had like quartermasters, what else? Petty officers, the bosun and the mate would be in here, in the bow. Let's go back up. We have the anchor handling gear. Would drag these up. Hoist them up here with the help of these davits. Yeah, let's go down a deck. So let's start with the Saloon class. Oh yeah, I forgot, sorry, the officers' quarters is here too. So I don't know how this was laid out, but I did it something like this. We have the mess hall, and then the chief officer, second, third, and fourth. So that's how they slept, pretty much. Okay, so we are back here in the Saloon staircase. We will go down the deck to the Saloon deck, where very conveniently and fittingly is located the Saloon for Saloon class. It's very confusing, but yeah, this is where they ate and hang out. This is kind of like a double type thing. With this, it was a lounge, but also a dining room, so it was a double. This was the case on Oceanic as well, and many ships of the era. So let's head further aft. We have some cabins. Tons of cabins. They look like this roughly. These are pretty much the same as the Oceanic class as well, to be clear. And indeed, this Saloon is very similar to the Oceanic class. Mainly I forget which one it was, but one of the ships had this kind of pink paneling. It was probably Oceanic and Atlantic. I mean, this is not pink. This was described as, I think it was lavender and white. And so it's similar but different. And further aft, yeah, we have the lavatory. Why is this open? Close that. Someone's forgot to close the door after themselves. And yeah, there's a staircase here, or staircase, but door here into steerage. So let's check this out. They slept in open dormitories, as was customary for the era. They wouldn't like actually add proper cabins until like the I think it was 1880s or 90s to an extent. We have the staircase here again that we saw earlier, heading down. And we saw oh yeah, this is another steerage area through this little deck house here we saw earlier. There are some hospitals here, very front of the bow. And let's go up here through this hatch. We're back up again, sorry if it's a bit confusing. Yeah, further aft, back at the Saloon. As we head further aft, we get to tons of cabins for Saloon class. They look like this, looks the same pretty much. Also we have the pantry here for the Saloon. Or not, yeah, the pantry and the bar. So you have the staircase here and the hoists to bring the food up and down. Let's head further aft. We have a little door here for the crew to access the boiler rooms. We'll get to those in a bit. Another door here to the crew. Here is steerage again. This is where the women and the families were held against their will. Here's a surgery where they would, kind of like a doctor's office. Yeah, tons of steerage areas here in the stern. And yeah, these stretch down one more deck here. Look the same. And that was the case in the bow as well, so I don't need to show that. We have 2 additional hospitals here though. And that's pretty much it for the passenger areas. So let's head down to the boiler casings here. So let's go through this grading down here. You can also access through this door to go downstairs here. Leads down all the way into the boiler rooms. So unlike the Oceanic class, which had the boilers like this way, these were placed in this direction instead, which is more like, let's say the Olympic class and the Oceanic and the Oceanic 2 rather, and the Big 4, etc. This was the most common layout of the boilers. Yeah, we have the cold bunkers on the sides here, you can see. Let's head further aft. We get to the engine room. You have a donkey boiler here, or the auxiliary boiler. Yeah, this engine is exactly the same as the Oceanic class, like exactly the same. Probably a little bit more powerful, but yeah, pretty much the same at least. You have the spiral staircase here again leading up. You have some workshops for the engineers on the sides. What's that down here? Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the fireman's quarters, so you can access these. I think it was... no, it was over here. It's hard to go through these, it's very cramped. There we go. Yeah, up here. I added ways to get into these, so... seamen, trimmers, and on this side is the fireman. So this is where they slept. We have the crew's lavatory, and on this side we have the wash place. And they could get up through this staircase. Saw this before with the victualing department. We have the galleys here, so yeah. And then of course this was part passenger ship, part cargo ship. They took a lot of cargo. So yeah, the holds are filled with cargo as always, both in the bow and in the stern. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the Britannic, and the Germanic was very similar of course. I showed the propellers, that was the main difference probably. And of course Germanic would be refitted a couple of times to make her very, very distinguished from Britannic indeed. Like, she would be unrecognizable pretty much. While Britannic would be fairly similar her entire life. Because they never actually refitted her. Because Germanic sank, I forget if it was in New York Harbor or something, around the turn of the century, so they decided that rather than scrap her, they would just completely refit her from the ground up, rebuild all the interiors, so they looked more like the Celtic of 1901 instead. While Britannic was never given this treatment. They consider it, but they never did. Other than that, the big difference is, I think, is probably that the dining room was decorated in different colors. So you had like a green background with salmon or like a pinkish orange color. And that is pretty much it. Other than the lifeboat flags, I guess, but those don't count. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching this video as always. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. On to the Arabic class. The Arabic, the Coptic, Ionic, Doric, Belgic 2, and Gaelic 2. Bye bye.